Good morning, traders. All right, let's get started here. Hold on. Sorry about that. I know we're working here in YouTube. I need to get started here. Sorry about that. I know we're need to get started here in Discord. Get started here in Discord. Get started here in Discord. All right. Good morning, traders. Okay, we can get started now. Aloha, Tony, and hey, Rob, Alan. Excellent. So sorry about that. Let's get started. All right, so this is the live webinar. We do real-time analysis here, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, 10 a.m. live analysis from JTrader on Wednesdays, and then Thursdays, Scott Pulcini, futures trader. Trying to bring as much value as we can to you guys regarding order flow, about understanding the markets, the market mechanics in here, and then being able to apply that to the way that you trade. That is our goal here. Bookmap visualizes this extremely well to give you that insight. We think it offers you an edge. So we're going to be using that to show this to you. It's all based off of our educational course that's online on our YouTube channel. You can see that here. If you go to YouTube and you scroll down, it is under bonus materials here. View the playlist. Please, if you're new in here, watch part 1 and maybe all of them, part 1 and 2 though, at least part 1. It will give you the foundation of what we're talking about. And then we have many different events for the rest of the day here. So I need to show you that as well. So really happy to offer this to you guys. Upcoming streams, Tom B is next. After that, we have Spanglish Trades here with Frank. He'll be at 1 p.m. East Coast time. These are all East Coast time right here. Tom is right after this webinar at 11:30 East Coast. Doug is then Frank, and then Doug right after that. And then we have a special event here, Patrick Wayland at 3 o'clock. So at the close, we also have the Algo Boys. They are in our Discord channel streaming. So you might want to check that out as well. Next week, we have some interesting events for you as well. Okay, we have Mayhem, excellent trader. He's going to be on Monday. And then let's see here. You can see Carmine Rosado next Friday. All right, so some really good stuff here. These are all excellent traders here. So very, very happy to have these guys in here. Thanks, Rob. I see you just posted this in the Discord channel. Let's go through the disclosures and jump in. We had just had some data here, and we'll go through it. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so we can bypass that. Let's take a look here at the order flow immediately. Look at 4,000 right here. Amazing. These markets have been all over the place, and here we are heading up to 4,000. I didn't think this was going to happen, but looking pretty good. Let's take a look at our candlestick charts to begin with here. You can see here the we made it just up to 4,000. Well, these are the regular trading sessions here. Did we tap it yesterday? It doesn't look like we did. and or the overnight here. But you can see we're below it now, and we can see that we just kind of filled the gap here, it looks like, on the 15-minute chart over here, which is on the right hand side. I have the hour in the middle here, and then on the left is the daily chart. Okay, so anyway, let's we'll take a look at the bigger picture here. Maybe we'll come back in just a second here to look at it, and just look at the current order flow, what's happening right now. Well, here it is in front of us. You can see absorption, or I'm sorry, it's not technically absorption, but these limit sell buy orders, they got filled here, here, and in here, and we can see the result from that. Especially right before 9:30, a lot of buy volume coming in, and the market did move up, but you know, it was kind of hesitant here. This is not what we want to see in a strong move. We want to see the strong volume. We want to see the big green dots here moving that market. This is what moves the market. It is the aggressors that move the market higher, and we can see them doing that here. Now up here, do we see them? No, right? We see sellers come in. We see selling up here as well. We don't see big green dots up here. This is looking like it's going to exhaust out and trade right back down to here, and I would actually be looking for this to, at this point here, for it to break it. It did not. You get a little bit of a break here, and then look, we had data here. You can see the liquidity all dries up around it. See the dark areas in here, and buyers came streaming back in right after the data. Okay, and they trade right up into this 90 level here. Okay, so that's what's unfolding now, and we need to see here. Let's just take a look at our structure in here. Okay, we're going to talk about candlesticks today. I want to go through that in a little more detail, but look at our price structure in here. Okay, our price action, and in fact, let's take off the volume dots and the heat map for a moment here. Okay, we're talking pure price action. All right, and what's going on in here? Well, we see the move up. We see a sideways consolidation. It's testing the bottom of this consolidation period right here. I can draw that consolidation period up like this. We can even see kind of a smaller one in here, and then the break above it, and see how this did not accept, right? It just did not accept. In fact, let's get rid of this one here. This is starting to understand the structure, the price action. This is essential to understand. It's really telling, understanding all of this activity in here, and it tells us the behavior of the traders, and it tells us like where they want to, do they believe in this price structure up here, or does it have less value? Okay, well, this one up here failed. You can see it broke out here, tried again here, and it failed and came back in, and now this one is starting to fail as well. All right, so this is really important to understand. We can get into showing the candlesticks in here. Let me go to candlestick settings in here, and I'll just put in a 1-minute chart here for now, because really to start to understand the price action in here, most people are trying to read it through the candlesticks. Well, see how this is a 1-minute candlestick chart. Okay, that's usually the lowest time frame most of the software has out there, and look what you're missing here. Okay, see this little consolidation period here and here. You don't see it in the candlestick. It's not there. Okay, this is really important to understand. Here is why. It broke out from there, it retested here, and it bounced a little bit. Now it's retesting where it broke out from in this structure here. See that one that we just marked up here? It is hidden in the aggregated data within the 1-minute candlestick chart. We want to understand these areas in here. It can really help you optimize your trading and make much better trading decisions, okay, to understand this. information or this data. Now we're breaking down below here. Now I would imagine we're going to see some profit taking down here, and we might find buyers in here. Okay, looking for a stop run and then a move back up. All right, so now we're just basing this assumption off of the price action, just pure price action. Okay, here is our technical levels in here at this 78 level. We're looking for some buying to start to come in here. Now, what is going to preempt this or preclude this here would be lack of selling. Okay, we'd look for that first. And I can see, well, I see the bars in here, so I know that there's some selling in here. So it's not really, we're not really finding too many profit takers here, at least not yet. All right, so we're finding some sellers in here. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here because we're looking at volume now in relationship, in context to the price action. Okay, and we're looking at these technical levels in here. So I'm looking for buyers still in here. And then where might they take it? Well, I'd look for the move back up to this 79 level, and I'd look for the move back up into this kind of 81 level up here. Okay, maybe they can come all the way back up into like 85 here, right? So that's what we'll be looking for. Now that is one scenario. Move down into this higher time frame area here where the buyers came in, and we're looking for some profit taking. Okay, now we're getting our answer here. Well, not really seeing it, and we continue to trend lower here. Okay, we're not seeing those buyers come in, at least not yet. Okay, we had a stop run here, and a little bit of a stop run here too. Okay, so yeah, that's so what are we getting out of this on that scenario? Looking for the move back up? Not much right now. Okay, we don't know what's going to happen down here, but we're looking right at it. We're looking at the real-time activity here, and we're going to turn on the volume dots in a minute, and that's when we're going to get our first level of context. We're kind of cheating here by looking at the volume bars, which does not help us here. Cheat at least. Anyway, the pure price action here and drawing up the structure is just really important and essential to understand. Okay, so actually I should have zoomed out a little bit more to look at that price structure. It's here. Maybe this is the important level, the important swing here, or maybe it's here, right? Maybe that's where we're looking for our profit takers, right? Because we're looking for them in here and we didn't really get them, and I was still looking for them. Okay, so I'm looking for them at this level here. Okay, now one thing I would like to see here is first a big stop run. That'd be great. So maybe we have to wait until we get down to 71 here and see that stop run. All right, so let's see here. Rob, you put something in the chart or in Discord. Yeah, we can take a look at that stop run and absorption in there. Sure. So hold on. Okay, and we're looking pretty good over in YouTube. All right, guys. So let's take a look here. So here we go. Like look at our buying. I don't want to turn on the volume dots quite yet. I'm looking for the move back down here just to test this previous structure. That's the bigger picture here. Okay, I was looking for it here because of the big move out of here first. This is where the buyers came in. We know that because of the price action. That's why I drew this up. That's why I'm looking for profit taking down here. Okay, we didn't get it. We went lower. Okay, so that's fine. If we're looking for it, the scenario didn't play, that's fine. Then what do? Well, if you're in a short position in here and no one else is taking profit, well, stick with the, this is how to consider it here. Hey, figuring out money. Nice to see you in here. This is something to consider, right? Now we're starting to see, right? Now look at the buying coming in. Look at the price action too. Okay, so back up to the top of this range here, or this candle. Okay, and then likely a fade even here though, and a move back down to retest these buyers in here. Okay, profit taking and moves in here typically it's just a kind of a, you know, what you typically see is, you know, the strong trend down, and then it just kind of inches back up, and then you see that's profit taking, and then you see again the strong move back down. Okay, now in here, how we're going to start to look at in the price action for a potential reversal here. Okay, because I didn't really see that profit taking. And is this profit taking? This is not that, not really. This is more of like buyers jumping in is what it looks like to me. I don't see that kind of candlestick pattern here of, you know, this here. It would be, or the price action would be more like this. Strong move, you know, kind of pull back like this, followed by strong move. Okay, I don't see that right now. I just see strong move, and then this kind of a little bit of sideways action, and then it's starting to be kind of strong move again here, right? So maybe this is a reversal. Okay, now on a shorter time frame, let's draw up the structure here on the reversal and what this might look like. Okay, let's clear the drawings for a moment and what that might look like. All right, a measured move. Why measured moves work as well. Okay, again, we're talking about price structure here before we get into the order flow. This would be our measured move. Okay, so you could look at 50% or 100%. Okay, move. Now let's line that up with other price structure areas here. That looks pretty good right in here. Looks pretty good. Okay, this is where sellers came in and moved it lower. All right, so this is more indicative. See the strong move and then this kind of pullback like that. That's more like profit taking. Okay, I think we covered that in real time actually, and then it just continued on lower. All right, so anyway, that would be your measured move in here, somewhere around there. Either areas look pretty good, 100% or 50% move back. And why I am not a fan of fibs whatsoever. However, the measured moves in here make sense to me, and looking at a 50% or 100% retracement makes good sense to me because of the activity of the traders in here. Where are they going to place their stops? Where price might go to retest areas here, and some of these measured moves make sense along those lines to me. All right, so I do like the measured moves, and we see it again and again, but these kind of magical fib levels based on a golden ratio is yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I don't really believe in it for the market, but you know, who knows? If you guys like it, just match it up with your liquidity levels and your price structure and the volume. Okay, now we talked about a lot about price structure in here right now, and you can see this measured move in here. All it did was fail up here, and we're continuing to the downside. Okay, so this is more, it is more like this could have turned into like a head and shoulders or rounding bottom and come back up here. It failed here. How do you know that? Right? How can you get insight from this? Well, this is where we want to look at this activity in here, right, to give us insight. Also up here, okay, also in here. So let's turn on our first level of context in here, and that is the volume. Okay, volume dots. All right, and let's zoom in a little bit here, and then let's take a look at this. Okay, so the reversal is not bad. Look at strong volume on the downside, not too many buyers. Strong volume on the downside, not too many buyers. Strong volume, some buyers. Not so strong volume. Some buyers, not so strong volume, even though it made a lower low. Okay, so you can see how that context in here starts to give you a lot better insight to this potential move up to the top of this range or these other areas here. Right? So This is how you can use this tool to gain better insight. Now here you can see the context we're talking about in the price structure. Here's our structure, here's our break, and it did a measured move. Okay, it did a measured move of this area here, and it retested here, and it came back up and traded to the top of the range and broke out and then failed. Okay, so now let's talk about the failure up here. Okay, how do we know that not to get caught up in this here and get more insight out of it here? Okay, let's clear our drawings and let's take a look at it here. All right, so do we see all this volume up here on the buy side? Not really, not really. This is looking good, this is looking good, and it just kind of just goes back and forth in here. Okay, I got to take the candlesticks off. We're going to talk about the candlesticks in a minute. But see how this looks good, this looks good. This is kind of a back and forth in here. That doesn't give you like a whole lot of confidence. So we get a move back down. It retests where these buyers came back in, and it bounces. And it comes back up here, and look again up here. Do we see a ton of buying up here? No. No. And we fail on the breakout. So in here, you can look for it to kind of come back down, and it's kind of likely that it's going to be kind of range bound in here. Now buyers could have come in here, this little area in here. They could have, they didn't. Sellers, see how the sellers pushed it through, and then look at the selling at the bottom edge here. This is where you get your insight. Okay, you can, if we had pure exhaustion up here, it would be much more insightful. We're getting some insight out of the volume up here, though, that it's not strong. We know that. Okay, so now we have context with our price structure and volume. This you can use in any type of strategy, anything. And I hope this is like evergreen content for you guys. Good morning, Jack. JT. I'm hoping that this can provide value for whatever it is that you're trading. And then look at the push through here, right, on the stronger volume. Right, so this is where they're moving it away from this area in here. Look for these moves again and again and again, moving away from an area on strong volume. All right, now we're just talking still about the context of two elements in here. Okay, volume and price structure. All right, so we're going to now add the third element in here. Okay, that's going to be really helpful, and this is where Bookmap really shines. Oop, not candles. We'll get to the candles in a minute, but the heat map. Okay, who's taking the other side of the trade? Okay, we want that context. Well, look at this up here. Actually, this still kind of bodes pretty well for this to go higher. It really does. Here's why. They're pulling the liquidity in here, and they're pulling it even up in this area up in here, and we can't find the buyers to get up there, though. But they're pulling it away, meaning that they don't want to be sellers here. They want to be sellers up at higher areas, up in here at this 80 level. Okay, this is the context again that we're talking about. Actually, the door is open for those buyers at this point, but the aggressors here they're not interested in it. Right, we see the aggressors in here. There's our context between this liquidity up here and what the market thinks of it. What do the participants think about it? Okay, here we go, right? And then down here we go. They're here, right? So if they're selling, and there's more sellers kind of that are rejecting this area up in here, and here they are in here, we're looking for it to break to the next level of liquidity. Okay, there's some here. There's some here and here, though. Okay, and we continue on down and trade into all of it now. Okay, and it's continuing to sell off here. Okay, into this liquidity, this liquidity. This is turning into a strong move. All right, so next level liquidity down at 39.50. Okay, high liquidity. I mean, we see some along the way in here, but this is the most down here. Okay. So now we're gonna see this market gyrate back and forth before we get down there. Okay, but we'd be looking for it to continue on down into that area here. Okay, so here's our low of the day, and you can see the context and relationship down here. This liquidity down here, it traded, and we see this move back up. And here's the move back down into this area here at 60. And they're lined up in the book here previously at 60, and they're here again at 60. Okay, so this is turning into an interesting area here. Did they transact? Yeah, they transacted. Look at the big red dot into that buy liquidity right there. Okay. Here come the sellers again. All right, look at this area up here. See the exhaustion? See the sellers? Let's see this. Let's see the sellers now take it down to 55. Okay, that would be the scenario. All right, now what if that doesn't play out? What's the opposite scenario? Okay, there's our 55 already. Okay, and you know, still looking for 50 here in the bigger picture, but we're going to go through the different scenarios in here. Okay, so again, we just what we just covered, okay, on this area up here, and understanding the order flow up in here and those sellers coming in here, not enough buyers up in here. Okay, the same thing just occurred right here, almost exactly the same pattern. Okay, it kind of broke out, it failed, it retested, not a whole lot. Look at the sellers come in here, here and here. That's why we were looking for 55. All right, so again, it is about understanding the context here in the price structure, in the context of the volume and the heat map in here. Where are the buyers and sellers in these areas here? We're seeing a lot of these buyers on the bid in these areas are getting filled. Okay, is it profit taking on the higher, you know, time frame, or are they buying for entry? Okay, we don't know that. All we know we don't have to know that. All we have to know is understand the context here of when, if they're going to stay in here and they start to absorb all that selling pressure, and when buyers start to come in. Okay, and you can see that they're starting to a little bit in here. Okay, but it's not as strong as these moves here. All right, I don't see the same amount of buy volume as I do on the sell volume here. All right, so this is the price structure to look at. Okay, we'd need to see buyers, a lot of buyers, come back in up here to reach back up to 59 or 60. Okay, we might get it. Okay, we just had exhaustion here. In fact, maybe we'll get it right now. Let's see. I'm looking for it actually, because I don't see sellers here. Okay, so I'm looking, and I do see buyers coming in, so I'm looking for them to test that where these sellers came in and drove that market lower. Okay, understand? Any questions on that? Okay, understanding that context in here. All right, I hope that is helpful to you guys. So here we are, our test back up into this level in here. All right, and we saw it quickly, right? And we have to see it quickly in the time frames we're covering, but you'll see this on the higher time frames too. It is exactly the same market mechanics that unfold. And see how we read that in here. See how we had exhaustion in here and we found buyers. Okay, well, let them come up here and test where these sellers took control of this market and moved it lower. And now they're even 260 and above it here. All right, and they're still buying. Okay, next level is up here then. Okay, at 63. Okay, now let's read this order flow in here. That doesn't give me a warm fuzzy feeling that's going to come up and test 63 now. Buyers here, no buyers up here. Lack of buying. Look at that heavy selling. Okay, so now I'm looking for another scenario here, selling down here, and then maybe the move down to 50. All right, this is scenario now. Okay, and we're going to look for what will make that scenario more likely. A lack of buyers up here, some sellers at the bottom of this little range in here at 60. If I see a big sell dot, I think we're going to trade right back down to about 58.5, and then we have the potential to break it and then trade lower. All right, that's the scenario, and it's not unfolding. That scenario is not unfolding right now. All right, hope it helps. Let me get to some questions in here. Okay, we have options expiration today. You know, it's been it's quad witching and all that kind of good stuff. So we're probably going to see a lot of here our scenario. See our scenario now. Okay, let's a quick retest back up here. See, now this little area right in here could be an area for potential entry. Okay, because the same idea holds true in here. This would be your entry. Maybe your stop is up here, your target is down here. There is a potential setup. Okay, so now we're looking for, again, sellers in here at the bottom of the range in here, and then for them to break it. Okay, there's some exhaustion, not bad. Looking for our sellers now. Now look, if we get buyers back up here, do you have to take a full stop out? No. Don't take a full stop. You know, if the scenario is not unfolding, now look, this gets into trade management, but it just makes sense in here. So see the buyers here, exit. Now this is not a trade recommendation. Okay, you can always get back in if this scenario is, maybe we see this a lot, like this will break here. You'll see the buying or the selling here. Okay, you can get back in. Okay, it'll a lot of times you'll see the market retest these areas, and then it just exhausts out, and then the sellers come back in. Okay, but see how you're looking for something that has the potential here. And then you're looking at the order flow to give you insight to that direction. Here again, this is another one right here, right now. Okay, sellers here is what we're looking for, because we exhausted out up here, looking for the sellers here, looking for these guys to pull, and then looking for that move to drop, just like this. All right, so how to protect yourself in these scenarios. Okay, we're looking for it in here. Okay, maybe a small stop from 60 on up to, I don't know, we saw them starting to come in here, so to 61, let's say a point. Okay, we're looking for it again in here. Okay, so entry would be in here, stop would be yeah, I don't know, up here. You know, place it up in here, but you can manage it aggressively, but you're looking for the follow through to the downside. And then we're looking for the bigger move here, right, down into 50 here. Okay, now how do you protect yourself and take some along the way? Okay, so we caught the move. Now this is all hypothetical. Okay, this is not a trading room, it's not a trade recommendation. So they call it triple witching. I thought it was quad, because you got anyway, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, guys, here let's get back to, I'll get back to you, Jack. Here's our move. Look, guys, I mean, we're not making this stuff up. We read it up here, we read the auction, and we're looking for the move. Okay, now protect yourself. Again, this is all about risk management in here, and how do you deal with that? That's a whole nother thing, and it is so essential to understand and protect yourself. So I'm going over some examples of that in here. Okay, so for example, I like to do this. I like to front run this and get out here, at least partial profit. Okay, maybe more, and maybe just exit the position altogether. Now this is trending down pretty strongly, so actually I'm kind of looking. I do not see a stop run in here yet. I'm looking for the stop run below that, and then maybe I would get out. Right, I like to front run though, But I'm looking, there's our stop run, right? So I would get out here at this point. Okay, at least on this time frame here, I would. Okay, not, I haven't looked at the bigger picture yet and the bigger candlestick chart yet, but in this time frame, this did everything I wanted it to do. I have the stop run here. I'm out. Okay, I will look for another setup at this point. Okay, so here it is, like 40. Let's say you got out around 48. Let's just call it 48. And then we're in here 60. Okay, there's a 12-point move. And your risk would have been from 60 to, I don't know, 62, maybe 63, something like that. Okay, now this is why I'm going through this in some detail in here. Again, it's not a trade recommendation. These are just considerations in reading the order flow and how to no matter what strategy you're looking at. Like, you know, if you're a volume profile trader, it's the same kind of behavior that you're looking for though in the auction. And Bookmap really nicely shows this in the auction here. Okay, lack of buying up here, selling coming in here. We were looking for it earlier and we got stopped out for like a point. Okay, and we didn't take a full stop. In fact, I think if we would have been in this still, I'm not gonna have it come up here. And that's the way that I like to trade. You know, I don't like to get out up here, and then I would look for to get back in if I do see like a lot of buying in here. I'd get out of the small one or the position here and look for a reversal trade or a reversal idea, a trend continuation on the buy side here. Instead of get a stop out up here, and then this is like, well, I'm too late to get in on the buy side. So that's what I like to do, but you know, that doesn't matter. What matters is like just to read the order flow in here, and you can manage this any way that you like. All right, that's really important though. When the rubber really meets the road is about the trade management, and you guys will have to look into it, and you'll have to back test it. You will have to develop that on your own. Only you can do that. We can go over all these different scenarios in here, and you can become an expert in being able to identify these scenarios. That's great. Now you got to make money out of it, and your trade management is going to be essential. Okay, and your account management is going to be essential. That's one of the reasons why this is not a trade recommendation room. Anyway, it would be irresponsible for us to go over a specific trading style anyway. We're a platform. We're the artist's tools. Okay, you're the artist. You use the tools the way that you want. Like, you know, you were the paintbrush. You guys are the painters. There are many different styles to painting. Right? The analogy holds true here in trading. It really does. All right, now, but let's take a look at this. See, now, how did I know, or why did I want to exit down here at 48? Let's talk about the behavior of the participants. Okay, first off, we're in a downtrend, and we know sellers are in control. And then we're looking up in here, and we're looking for where those sellers might take control again. And then we're looking for our 55 target was our first one, and then 50 was our second. Now, so let's suppose we got out half at 55. It's not a bad idea. And then down here though, I was going to front run this high liquidity here, and I thought, you know what? Let's cover the stop run. And this played out really well. Okay, so I mean, it did what we were talking about. Why was I looking at this down here in the stop run here? Okay, and then exiting. It's because I'm waiting for, I know the high liquidity filled in here, and typically I like to front run it. I just didn't see buyers come in. Okay, so I know that anyone that bought up in these areas, like, we're going to see a stop run down below here. Okay, it's the figure. If you go back and you do your back testing, you will look at the figure here many times over, and you'll see exactly this. Okay, through the figure, through the high liquidity here, and look for the go back and study the amount of points in here as well. Okay, this is where you're really going to start to understand, again, price structure, when you start to do your back testing in your studies. Is the move through here, the stop run, then do we get buyers on the other side? Look where the buyers came in. Okay, above the selling. We're not making this stuff up. Okay, stop run, buyers come in back up above the figure is here as well. They're buying back up above 50. Where are we looking for them to go? I would say the first level is probably here, maybe here, okay, or back up to here. All right, where we entered, because we knew sellers took control. This is where the buyers are going to go after and trade back up into here, and we'll see, like, are they going to defend it up there or not? Again, we're talking about the behavior of the participants. It's not a math problem here. Okay, it is an auction scenario, and understand the participants and what they feel about the auction. Okay, look at that, right to this area in here based on the price structure. Okay, and we look for the same pattern yet again up here. Here would be your entry. Well, maybe in here, maybe you got caught up in it, but you look for it again in here. Okay, look how they already retested back to it. Right, this is why you want to consider protecting yourself and taking some profits in some of these structural areas. Okay, we talked about 55 over here. Here you'd talk probably about, well, either this one in here, okay, where these buyers came in around 51, so a small scalp from like 54 to 51, or you'd be looking at in this little area here where these buyers came in, okay, around 48. 48 looked pretty good, and look where they came right back to it here, to this 53.5. All right, so anyway, the behavior in here on that stop run, you know, high liquidity getting filled. Look for people to give up, capitulate, and look for buyers to come back in and take it back into these value areas, okay, and retest these sellers in here in these areas. And that's what I was looking for in here. Okay, and that's why I was looking for a stop run and then an exit. So in here, I'm not using the stop run for some sort of buy or sell signal. I'm sorry, as an entry signal. I'm looking for it and anticipating it to optimize my profit taking. All right, and look again, sellers yet again coming back in, looking for 41.40 here if we get enough sellers in here. All right, let me get back to some questions in here. I'm sorry guys, I kind of let the questions stream right through here, so that's not good. Sorry about that. Looks like we're good over in Discord. Thanks very much, Rob, for posting some of this stuff in there. And let's take a look here. All right. All right, sorry guys, it's just getting these questions in here. Yeah, Jack, maybe I can give you the wrench. Maybe you can help out in here if you want. Can I do that? I'll have to look into that. I can put you in timeout. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's see. Good morning, Pep. We have someone in here. Good morning, Christina, new to oh yeah, and figuring out money referred you over here. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, nice to see you guys in here. Welcome. So yeah, figuring out money. I mean, he has his very specific way of trading, right? And he's going to be able to apply these order flow concepts in here directly to it. Okay, so anyway, today is pretty pretty easy day for calling. It's not a calling room in here. We want to read this and understand what the outcome is based upon our reading. Down in here, like, yeah, I'm looking for those buyers. I just didn't, you don't see them, and then you see the sellers in here again. I'm looking for them to trade to 40.41. All right, let's let that play out, and let me get to these questions here. Yeah, thanks, Jack. Can you explain a bit about how the heat map colors work? Yes, MD9. Heat map colors are very, very simple. Yeah, I want to also cover a new feature in here. Really cool. We'll go over that in just a second here. We just launched this yesterday, so excellent stuff in here. It was highly requested by some professional traders. They really wanted this feature in here, so we delivered. And maybe you guys get something out of this as well. All right, so let's see. God, where did I leave off here? Can I explain a bit about the heat map colors? Right. Heat map is very simple. Okay, it's based off of the current order book, or your DOM, your depth of market, which shows the number of contracts per price level. Your DOM is showing limit orders. That's all it's showing. Okay, it's showing liquidity, where traders are lining up to buy on the bid, like the majority down here, 330 at 41 and 284 down here at 40. Okay, that's it. All we're doing in the heat map is taking that number, this value here, and painting it into a heat map, a graphical representation of the liquidity. And the colors are up here. Okay, I'm just going to brighten it up for the demo purposes. Red and orange, very high liquidity, then yellow, white, blue, and then black is the least amount of liquidity. Okay, so let's go back down and dim it again. I like this view, the halfway point here. It gives us some insight in here. Yeah, see, I'll cover this in a minute, why we didn't trade back down in here. We probably will, but we'll talk about it. A lot of times after trading through a lot of these big areas in here, you'll see a lot of, this is profit taking, I feel, that we were looking for when we started this webinar here. They're going to take the profit in front of these levels in here. Right, and then you can see, then you'll see some stop runs too start to kind of emerge from that before we, typically in a strong downtrend, you get all of that, and then it ends up trading back down here and through there anyway. All right, so that's the heat map. I think MD9, that helps you. But what is interesting about the heat map in Bookmap is we record everything in here in the heat map from the activity from the limit orders. So in your DOM, you just see the current market. These numbers change and you don't know what was there before. In the heat map, it's all graphically represented here on the chart and recorded. So this is where those larger players started to come in and provide this high liquidity here. It was back here, and we can look at the time, use the data tip tool. Back here at 1034. Okay, and we're approaching 1050 right now. Okay, so 1034 and then 1046 around here is where we just traded shy of it here. So you can understand the behavior now, and we're adding this this third level of context now. Okay, or this other level of context in here. It's the relationship of these orders in the price structure and the volume, and we want to understand that in the auction. Okay, look at these guys coming in here. They're just about to trade. Okay, at 52. Okay, here come the buyers. Now the question is this the context question here? Do they trade? And if so, how much do they completely stay in the book? And then the real context we want to know is what happens after that. Is there still more aggressive buying pressure here? Well, if there is, they will trade above this 52 level here. Okay, if there's not, and we see exhaustion, and it maybe explores above here, but we don't get more buyers, and we get more sellers down on the bottom edge in here, we're looking for the move back down to the liquidity down here, okay, at 47 and a quarter. Right, so this is again that context in the auction here that we're talking about. Look at these guys. These guys came in after this move started to climb up. Okay, now see how they're pulling now? Actually, they're pulling and kind of adding back and forth in here in these little areas. Okay, so we'll see how they're adding a little bit more now down here. Now again, what's the context in here? They add in here, but what happens with what's the reaction to price here? Do we find a ton of sellers interested in going after this? Let's see right here. No, I don't see them. I see buyers. Now, if we get buyers here, there we go. There's some sellers. Now we're not getting much of all. Sellers here, buyers here. Okay, well, nothing. Do nothing. No clarity here about setting a direction. Okay, so just stay away. Okay, we're looking for that direction. Okay, I still like, yeah, I see some sellers here starting to hit the bid. Okay, now down to this lower area here. I don't know though. I see a lot of buying in here, and if it exhausts on that sell side, then we're going to see a move back up here. Now we're getting our answer. Okay, so it's traded back down here, and they're just selling. There's just a lot of selling pressure here. Yeah, so now I'm looking for them to trade into 40 and 41. Okay, I would have stayed away from this one in here. It just didn't look too clear to me. Okay, some of the other ones look better. It's almost the same pattern though. Almost. Some of this buying in here is kind of what tripped me up, I think. And I just didn't know. Whereas we had before, we didn't have buyers up here. Okay, and we had stronger selling in this area here. Okay, we had not quite as strong selling. Here is where it really picked up. Right, and that's when it kind of know. And we're also below these, where these buyers kind of initiated in here. Okay, around this 47 level. And that's where I'm kind of seeing it. And that would be a little late to the party. All right, so that answers that question about the heat map and starting to understand that context in here. Okay, so that's what it was. 2020, they removed the futures stocks, so it's just triple or triple witching. Yep. The single stock futures, yeah, that never took off. It was a good idea, and it's a great idea instead of trading options. Christina, how do I know it's a stop run there? Okay, so this is kind of an important question. We have a couple of indicators in here. Let me clear the chart again. And now this is a very specific indicator package, but what I mean to say in here is it's very specific to futures and rhythmic data. Okay, it has to be CME group futures, and it has to be rhythmic data. This is something that CME offered like about 5 years ago. It's called market by order data, and it is metadata where the orders have more information attached to them. Okay, and it allows us, now that wasn't their, they did not really want us to see icebergs and stops. They wanted to see position in queue. That was their whole goal. was you can see the orders in here now, and the size of not just the liquidity at each price level, but the orders as well. Like how many orders? So there's 195 up here, but it could be like 3 players, right? Or it could be 195 players. We don't know. We do know now with market by order data. Okay, so it will tell you, your position in queue. Through some of this and the iceberg ID tagging, we're able to extrapolate and understand when stop orders are being triggered and when iceberg orders are also transacting. And that's how we know. Right now, the beauty of the stops and icebergs is it is extremely objective. It's just fact. Okay, there's no kind of interpretation of it. We're just showing factual data here. In fact, that's one of the things about Bookmap that most professional traders really enjoy or really like about the platform is it's just showing the facts. Okay, it's showing the aggressors, it's showing the price structure, it's showing the liquidity. The interpretation of it and understanding the behavior in the auction is what gives you the insight, and that's something that you have to bring to it. Okay, what we're showing here is just factual data. Stops and icebergs are a part of the market, okay, and we can show that with the MBO data. All right, so anyway, if you're interested in that, I can show you more about it here. Let me just show that. Go to bookmap.com and then go to more here, and you can go to our Bookmap marketplace and you can go to MBO bundle here. Okay, and you can read about it in here. It's this one here. We have the Trader Map Pro and MBO bundle. You can read about it in here, and you'll see what you need here. You need to have rhythmic data, and it's only with CME Group futures. All right, so that's important. All right, and it's sold separately here because it's so exclusive to those traders. Will not work with stocks. There's a couple cryptocurrency exchanges it will work with, but anyway, that's that. It will work with global or global plus. That doesn't matter. Okay, you just have to have rhythmic. It has to be CME Group futures. All right. Let me continue on here. Yeah, thanks, Alan. That helps out. Nice, Jack. Okay, yeah, the consolidation and then the looking for that book sweep, and then the stop out run. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Christine, I think I answered all your questions there on the stops and icebergs. How do you anticipate aggressive buyer sellers? Johan, this is how see this strong move right now on the buy side. I'm looking for it to continue until I see something else. I'm looking for, look at the sellers here. Do I see sellers? No. Do I get some buyers up here? Starting to. Then the scenario right now is I'm still looking for buyers, and I'm looking for them to carry it up into 56 or 55 here. Okay, now look what happened now, right? So that just the whole plan. Now I didn't know that was going to happen. Okay, the whole plan is disrupted, totally disrupted. Okay, sellers came in hand over fist here. Okay, so now I don't know what. Now I'm actually looking for more sellers here, and then the trade down to this 48.5. Okay, that's how I'm anticipating it based on what I see in here in these areas in here. Okay, so see these. This is what's happening right now. Someone came in, and it was a larger player. We can look at specifically at this and show you that this is a larger player, because it's not a stop run in here. There's not many stops in here. This is a larger player dumping. Okay, there is a stop run a bit. Okay, but they're just coming in and just saying market sell, hit market sell for all of these contracts in here. Okay, now let's actually add in the stops. We can see exactly how many are stops. Okay, I'm adding that in, and then I have this threshold down here. I'm going to deselect it. Okay, so 42 of these, all of the, see all these orders in here, or all these transactions in here. There are, I don't know how many are all together here. You'd have to add all these up. There's hundreds. 42 of them are stops. That's fact. Look how look where these 42 transacted. See the little red line in here? It starts here and it ends down here. It went one tick. That is your stop run here. It's only one tick wide, or 2 ticks. Okay. But what happened was a larger player came in and said market sell, and they had a lot of contracts in here, a lot of selling power, and they moved the market. They swept the order book down to here. They basically market sell for, like, if you say market sell up here for like hundreds of orders, okay, you're going to sweep through 50, 53, 50, 63, until you get down to the area where you no longer have any orders left. You've swept through all these areas here. This is how the market mechanics unfold. It's just how the market works. Along the way, there might be people that have stop losses in here. Okay, in the order of executions in here, okay, order of operations in here. This player first will sweep the book. Second to that, there's stops in here maybe being triggered at any of these price levels, any or all of these price levels along the way, and they get stuffed and they get filled down here. So when you get slipped in by your stop order, this is what's happening. Okay, and this is what unfolded down here, and there's 42 of them. So 42 poor souls, or however many souls, we don't really know. We just know there's a volume of 42 there. That's what happened. And this is where we saw that behavior a few times. Okay, and this initiated, now we know now it initiated the move lower. We just saw it. But we're looking earlier, well, I'm looking for more buyers. I'm looking for more buyers. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute. No, I'm not now. I don't know what to do right now. Okay, and then I'm looking for, well, we can't get back up here. We're looking for sellers to trade into this 48.50 because that's where the liquidity is. Okay, and that did unfold. All right, so now we've been covering the aggressors and understanding the aggressor activity in here. Okay, that was a unique thing to see in here. We see it a lot. You'll see it all the time, but they usually try to kind of just, you'll see a lot of larger players not dump like that. And if they are dumping like that, it is typically selling. That is true. But this disrupted everything on this move to the upside here. Okay, so let me deselect these here. This is where it all initiated, right here. Okay, no doubt about it. That's where this all started, and it turned the market. This larger player behavior in here, in this case, turned the market. Right? And then more traders. Okay, we traded down to this 41 level. Okay, and still looking for it to go lower. Here's another one right here. Okay, so the scenario is, do we see buyers back up above it? Right here where these sellers came in, right? Yeah, a little bit. So do nothing. I'm not looking to do anything here. Okay, so anyway, do we see buyers back up at this level here? I see them pulling liquidity, and I see aggressive buyers coming in. Okay, so yeah, it does trade it. Okay, now I'm looking to see, maybe we see that larger player come in and dump again. Okay, so we've already traded back down here. Okay, let's see if we get a pullback here and a lack of buying up here at 45. No, we miss it. This is one of the things about pullback trading that, you know, it's just part of the gig. Okay, we might get it now. Let's see if we get the pullback back up to here. Yep. Okay, it right to this low volume node. Now, I just don't like the pullback. I see buyers in here, right, relative to these sellers in here, and I don't like it. So I would do nothing. This is something about pullback trading I, you know, kind of struggle with. If I did not see the buyers like this in here come in, then it would be a lot clearer to me. Okay, I'm looking for strong selling on this side, and I'm looking for weak buying on this side. That's where I can get clarity. And now I'm looking for sellers here, and then for them to drop it down to here. Okay, almost on cue. So, you know, this is, see how it's jumbled in here, and this is how you have to protect yourself from these types of things. You know, if you like, okay, yeah, market sell, you know, I'm looking for the move, but protect yourself, because this happens a lot. You know, this is why I'm looking for this to move right here, right now. And if it does not, and it wasn't meant to be, get out, right? Now, tested back up here again. We can get the same setup in here. Okay, so let's see. Here's a little bit of a pullback. Okay, look at this heavy liquidity here on the offer. Now, so do we see a lack of buying, or do they trade into that? No, they trade into it. All right, so no, I'm not looking for the sell at this point. There's still more buying pressure above it, in fact. There you go, right? So again, like, although I didn't see my setup in here, okay, it kept me out of it. Okay, so like keeping yourself out of a trade, I feel, and it's my opinion, is as equally as important as something that tells you to get in. Okay, that's when you really know your setup. All right, so I think I'm all getting caught up here in the questions. Yeah, the tape doesn't lie. Yeah, win loss or rug. Yeah, well, I'm glad that helped you with your setup. You saw the weakness. Excellent. That's just excellent. This is how to use it. Exactly. This is how you get value from it. Yeah, we can use Tony. We can look at the pointer. Use the data tip tool. I usually like to see the. It's a little bit noisy for me. I know a lot of traders that have it on all the time, though. They really want to look at this in here. But for me, it just kind of obfuscates the chart here, so I can't really see the price action. Oh yeah, here we go. Check. There you go. Give you the tool there, the wrench, so you can maybe that helps. Guys, again, like, you know, really, like, there's such a misconception about, I feel, about setups and I see some of the comments in here, Karsten, about, or No, I know you. Is talking about chucking his laptop out the window. Yeah, I mean, what we want to understand is the behavior of the traders. It's not some, you know, sort of mathematical puzzle here. Uh, we want to know like what's going on. That's what's going to give us some insight. So, in fact, that'll segue nicely into looking at candlesticks in here. So let's just cover that, and we can look at this 1 minute, 5 minute, whatever candlestick. Let's go to the settings. Let's look at a 5 minute for now. Okay, and start to read the order flow here first in the candles. All right, and then we'll get to the order flow in Bookmap. Okay, and what I mean by order flow is more about price action, but the orders within it. Yeah, Gary, there was a webinar yesterday with Gary Norden, who's an expert trading the dome. He's a floor trader and has a method for trading the dome. He's looking for very, very short-term trades, though, like in several of them. And he considers order flow to be about the order book. It truly is a very specific thing. And yeah, it's kind of like I kind of, you know, I'm maybe abusing the definition of it. So my apologies on that, but I don't know. I'm just, maybe it's the trade activity, but it is order flow here though. Like these are the limit orders down in here. We know their activity, and so I'll have to maybe breach that one with him. That is funny. How can you find icebergs? Well, you know you can find them at the North Pole. That is pretty funny. Um, yeah, we're talking about supply and demand, or support and resistance. Again, you say tomato, I say tomato type of thing. Like, but I don't care. I just really care about what happens at these levels. Um, so I think Jack is talking about that. Yeah. Lots of comments, lots of great stuff in here. Um, Good discussion going on in here in YouTube. Please interpret the lower bar lines in the CVD. Okay, CVD is an interesting one. I'll cover that. I want to go over these candles though, and I don't have too much time here. Maybe we can wait for another day for the CVD. Maybe I'll just go over it very briefly. Great discussion, guys. Thanks, Jack. Give you the timeout tool, yeah. Um, all right, so okay, I'll go over it briefly in here because it's a really popular thing, but it helps visualize the order flow as well. Take the candles off for just a minute. Okay, and CVD is such a simple instrument or indicator. It is just showing buy minus sell of the aggressor. Now look at the CVD in here. Okay, it is buy minus sell plotted over time. Now we see a lot of heavy selling in here. CVD did drop. Okay, it did go to a lower low. Here it did though. Here, there's your divergence. Okay, look at CVD drop here, but here's the low in price action. Okay, here's the low in price action here. Here's where the CVD, it's right in here, so it's this area. There's your divergence. All right, now why is it divergent? Okay. And this is where I think CVD gets kind of complex, or doesn't offer as much insight as we think. Is because we know is going to be divergent. Look at the buying in here. Look at the selling here. Compare these two. There's more buying here, and there's compared to the selling here. There's more buying in here compared to the selling in here. Okay, now the selling really picks up in here, and it did drop to a lower low. All right. However, we know it's going to be divergent because there's or we're starting to see that more buying in here. Okay, now because of this, and there's more buying in here, and we get buying at the top edge here, your CVD, you'd be looking for the move back to 60. Okay, or back up to here, the same ideas and concepts we were talking about earlier. Okay, the move would be back up to about 59 or 60, because we're getting buyers here, and we know we're leaning on the buyers in this range in here, and there is our CVD. Okay, and then look at our move here. It's already panning out, and I'm looking for it to still go higher. Okay, up to 60. All right, so that's how you can use CVD. But again, it's understanding the strength of the moves in here. You don't need to lean on. If it helps you, great. But just look at the graphical representation of the buyers versus sellers in these areas in here. Okay, and then we can anticipate if there's more buying up in here, likely the buyers are going to be able to push this higher. There's not enough sellers in here. Okay, so anyway, that's CVD. I want to get to the candlesticks. That was going to be the theme of the whole. Do I look for the IB low to trade? Peter, I'm not big on the initial balances. I don't really look at that very much. I understand the concept, but I actually I'm leaning on that same exact concept in these smaller moves. What is the initial balance? It is a volume event. Okay, here it is here. The volume event is, well, 930. It's actually kind of funny. It precludes the buying is actually in front of the 930 cash open. Okay, but 930 to 1030, what's the balance, okay, of all of this in here, right? So it looks like more selling. The selling really picked up in here, and it's probably skewing all of the buying or this price action, all these transactions up in here. All right, so it would be setting up for maybe a trending day, but we're getting our kind of mean reversion traders right now, if that's the way you want to look at it. Anyway, what I look for instead, the concept of the initial balance is very simple. All of the buying within this period, right? Or all of the transactions within this period. Okay, well, what if the period doesn't really tell you too much? Okay, like I don't think this period is telling me too much, to be honest. Okay, and here's why. Because what are all of this volume in here? Like I care about this volume. I care about this volume in here. The concept is the same. I'm caring about, it's a volume event that I'm looking at. In this case, it's a time value of 1 hour for your initial balance. Instead, here I'm focusing in on who's moving the market, and I'm looking at that volume event. All right, so I like to look at that. That's my kind of style. Okay, so you volume profile traders like your initial balances, etc. Whatever, if it whatever helps you. You can look for the potential mean reversion trade right now, and that would be back up to, well, I'd be looking up here. It's not a bad idea to 77.50. There's a big high volume node up here. I kind of like it in here better. I see this big bar here, and I see this structural area here around 72, which is in front of all of that kind of average trade, or average of trading activity up there. Okay, so now look what happened down here when our big move here, right? We saw that God, I'm not going to get to candlesticks. Sorry, guys. We'll cover candlesticks maybe next week. I'm sorry. I really wanted to go over it. That was what I wanted to focus on. We went over a lot of other good things, though. So we can always put that in the back pocket and do the go over the candlesticks next time. All right. So anyway, what are we seeing now? All right. So we were looking for the move up into here, right? Or here, 59 to 60. And it still may play out. Okay. But it's not looking too good now. We were looking for that move because here come the buyers. And we had a divergence in here out of this whole range in here. And we knew there was more buying than selling. Okay. So that's why we're looking for this here. Now, again, we can look at these areas in here to manage. Now, this is about trade management. Would be to maybe consider taking some profit at 56 because there's high liquidity here, right there. Okay, now I just drew right over it. All right, there we go. So see how they stayed in the order book. And we didn't get to, we got some buying above it, but we see sellers coming in and slamming on it again. Now, this is interesting. Look at this. Looks like that same player in here, same behavior. Okay, and we knew that moved the market. Look at this. They're dumping, right? I don't think we're going to 60 now. Okay, these players, we saw it earlier, and they're doing the same thing again, or the same type of activity. It's also here a little bit. You can see it. Okay, there's some buying fighting it in here and in here. Okay, but you can see who's winning the battle now, right? So this was a breakout, and we wanted to see continuation of it. We didn't get it. Okay, it only did this in terms of a measured move, like, I don't know, not even half. Would it be about half? Let's see. This is from 53 to 42, and that's let's just say that's 11 points. This is like 50, let's say 52 to 57, 5 points. Yeah, it is about half, right? So anyway, yeah, anyway, I think that's kind of meaningless. It's the high liquidity here that has the meaning. Okay, so now we're seeing the sellers come in hand over fist. Okay, so looking for a 40 level here. Okay, now I'm looking for 40, and it more than ever right now. And here's why. Okay, because we have the move up here, and we got, maybe some buyers trapped in here who we're looking for our stop run down here. Okay, so look, when you see big moves unfold, look for this kind of behavior in here. Okay, so this move to the upside failed, but think of all these buyers in here trying to catch the bottom. Think about where they're going to get stopped out. Okay, we already had some stop runs in here, but we didn't get a big one yet. I'm looking for a big one. All right, that would be the scenario. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at CVD. Let me get the stops here. Yeah, so there's a stop run. Okay. And we also see a lot of iceberg buying in here. And they're probably covering. I love answering questions in here. Well, yeah, I mean, I like to get you guys questions for sure. I want to get to your questions just provide as much as we can for you guys. So anyway, yeah, so sellers starting to take it again now. Look, I thought we'd trade right down into it. We're seeing a little bit of profit taking, but I'm still looking for the move to 40, and then potentially through it. There we go. There's our move to 40. Okay, now I'm still looking for it to go, and I'm looking for a big stop run here. I really want to see this unwind now, and this is why. It's because of this, all of that buying in here. Again, understanding the behavior of the traders. If there's buying in here, okay, and then this buying move fails, look for that selling, and then look for this pretty strong move now, okay, into these lower levels. This mean reversion trade is not looking, this idea, that concept was here. It's just totally failing. Okay, now, basically, and I didn't see it. Let's just take a look at it in hindsight now. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't see it until later. We saw this trader behavior in here, dumping again and again, and there was a little bit up in here, I think, or was it here, right? And yeah, this is, they're still fighting it in here. Buying still trying to come in here. This is where they're just doomed. Once you start to see that selling come in here, it's rather doomed. There's just not enough buyers in here. They're making lower highs in here. Even all of this buying in here is still a lower high. It can't even get back up to here, and that's a lot. That's a lot of buying in here. And so again, understanding price structure, okay, and then understanding where the transactions and the liquidity within that price structure, okay? And that's why we're looking for the move lower here, okay, into 40 and through it. Okay, I thought we get a quick one down into it. It pulled back a little bit and then went back down lower. Okay, so anyway, that's that. Let's see. Peter, can we look at NQ? Yeah, I do have it up here. We can look pretty quickly at it, I think. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's doing the same thing in here, down to 12,600. Okay, should see a nice, beautiful stop run down there. I don't have stops up. Okay, well, this is another thing to look at for another day. Peter, you're bringing up a really good question, and we have this tool called Market Pulse that you guys should look into. It can offer quite a bit. We do have it up, and this is looking for the correlated markets and the market activity in here, okay, with volume pressure, and we can look at this in here. And we can look at correlated markets and see when oh, that's on the H contract. That's not going to work. All right, I'm not set up for it right now. We'll go over it maybe next week, but understanding the correlated markets in here is going to add even higher probability to your move or your potential setup. Okay, so look for you might, there's a few different ways to look at it. You can either pop this out into another screen and look at your markets, or use this Market Pulse tool. But this is where you're really going to see like some, get even a deeper understanding, because if these markets are correlated here and you can see which one is leading or following, start to understand that dynamic is going to offer you so much more. I mean, when you really boil down to it, what are you trading? And that's a bigger picture concept here. You're trading the stock indexes, but to what, right? So, well, what does the other stock indexes have to say about this? And then that leads to even a bigger question. What about, what does it all boil down to? Well, you can look at maybe euro dollar. What's the cost of the dollar? related to the euro. How does that correlate with the stock market moves in here? Look at some of the interest rate products. Okay, these are probably the most telling of all, and it is the cost of money. Okay, when money is cheap, stocks typically do well. That's what interest rates are all about. When there's low interest rates, people borrow, they invest, and you would expect that the economy should expand. So understand your correlations. If you can bring that into the picture here, you're going to see, and bring that into your studies and your setup, you're going to get likely a much better understanding of really what's going on out there in the markets and higher probability moves. All right, guys. Anyway, nice setup. Hey, if you like this video or these webinars, please hit the like button. This really helps us here. So we want to do more and more education like this for you guys. As you know, we're expanding. We have all sorts of other traders and educators. So for example, right now, let me show you. Tom B is up next. You can go over here. He's just started, in fact, so he's streaming now. You can jump over there. He's a volume profile trader. Okay, and he'll go through how he looks at the market. Now, there's a distinction between me and him. I'm going through a bit of everything. Okay, Tom has a very specific way of trading in his volume profile. If you're a volume profile trader, go there and check it out. Up next after that, we have Spanglish Trades. We have Frank. He's going to go through the way that he trades. Later, after that, we have options with Doug. Doug has a very unique trading style and strategy. I highly recommend you check it out. Very, very interesting, and can offer you a really nice edge in there. Go check it out. We have Patrick Wieland. He'll be 3 p.m. This afternoon. Okay, so we have a full lineup here. Also at 2:30 over in Discord, we have the Algo Boys. You can watch their Pro Trader webinar that we had last week right here. Okay, so guys, we have all sorts of stuff in here. A robust community. Go to our Discord channel and continue the discussion there. Lots going on. All right, so it doesn't end here and now. Yeah, if you like this, please hit the like button. That'll help us get some insight to what you like and what you don't like. Did I answer Peter? Did you agreed on something? I don't know. I lost you, Peter. I'll have to get back to you next time. Okay. So yeah, sorry about that. Oh, I did answer all your questions. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks everybody. Have a good weekend. Check out the next events and watch your order flow. Look for your setups and look for the transactions and the order book liquidity in here to give you more insight. I wanted to go over the candles. We'll do it again next time. How you can read candles in the order flow. It's beautiful. You'll be able to see what's inside that candlestick. When you get your candlestick pattern, you will know if it's telling you something or not. Okay. Yeah, thanks guys. We'll catch up with you next week. Have a good weekend.